Well, today it is time for today's breakfast bite once again, and I'm very pleased to welcome another member of the team from Adventure Plus. It's Emily. Hi, Emily.
Hello, how are
Hi,
you?
Grit. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. Well, before we start today's breakfast bite, would you like to tell us a little bit about your role at Adventure Plus at the moment?
Yes, of course. So I am currently on my second year of being here. I did the gap year last year, and I'm now doing an adventure and activity internship.
Oh, great. Is that good fun?
Yeah, no, it's great fun. Yeah, so I'm working at the moment mainly towards something called RCI, which is rock climbing instructor, and using that to minister to the youths. So yeah, it's really exciting stuff.
Excellent. Do you enjoy rock climbing then?
Yes, definitely.
And you, and I guess, in turn, enjoy being able to show other people how to enjoy it.
Yes, no, definitely. It's a big part of our role here, our activities, and also how we use them as well to spread the gospel. Yeah, big
Yeah.
part.
Excellent. Well, yeah, I mean, I love everything that goes on at Adventure Plus. I've been there myself. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Are you enjoying Oxfordshire?
Yes, no, I am. I'm loving it. So I moved here a year and a half ago, and the countryside is just beautiful compared to London.
Yes. Well, I mean, there isn't all that much countryside in London, is there?
No, not too much.
Yes. Well, it is a beautiful place for an Adventure Plus. For today's breakfast bite, do you have a thought you'd like to share with us?
I do indeed. So I wanted to talk on the passage, James 4, verses 1 to 12. So I mainly wanted to specify on verses 7 until 10. So it says, Submit yourselves then to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Come near to God, and he will come near to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double minded. Grieve, mourn, and wail. Change your laughter to mourning, and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. So it's quite a controversial verse. It talks about turning our joy to gloom, which isn't something that you'd think that God would often talk about and often speak to us about. But the main thing I wanted to just share about this morning is looking at what's in our hearts. I think it's a very important thing to focus on as well when we're talking about Christianity, because our hearts are a place for God to live and it's something that's pure and precious to us. So I just wanted to talk a little bit this morning about what we let into our hearts and the importance of that, because I think it gets overlooked quite a bit. And I haven't heard it spoken about too often in churches. So I just wanted to focus on that this morning. Um, yeah, so why did I choose this verse? So it's a good reminder of where our hearts should be and what should be in our hearts. So going back to the passage, it talks about resisting the devil and he will flee from you. Come near to God and he will come near to you. Wash your hands, purify your hearts. So it talks about how our hearts should be pure and they should be holy and set aside for God. So different. So if you look in verse 7 to 8 of this passage, it talks about committing all of yourself to God and be humble and not proud. So there's no room in our hearts for the devil and sin and God. We have to choose which one we're going to let in. Um, and also resist the devil and he will flee. So do not let the devil in too often. And this is something that I know we all battle with as Christians because we live in a fallen world. There's sin all around us. And it's really hard to constantly battle and take up the armor of God and resist the devil and his temptation. But we're called here to take up that fight every day and battle against what we let into our hearts. And thankfully, we don't have to do that in our own strength because it talks in Ephesians 6 about the armor of God. And I think that's just such an important reminder as well, especially as the week is just starting, that maybe we've come from like a chill weekend or maybe we've had a busy weekend, but just to remember that each day we need to take up afresh the armor of God and fight for what we let into our hearts.
That's very, very true. And like you say, that part in James does seem a bit odd, doesn't it? Turn your joy to
Mm,
gloom. Shouldn't we be doing the opposite? But there is a
mm,
time and a place to consider actually, what do I need to get rid of in my heart? What's not healthy? What's not of God? Because anything like
mm.
you say, you can't have good and bad. It just doesn't fit together. One's going to push out the other.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's something that I think it's quite hard as well to be content as well. So I, well, I often would advocate to people to never be content with your relationship with God. You should always be hungering more after God. And that's something that comes from a desire in our hearts. It's something that's rooted deep within us, which is part of God living in us as well.
Mm.
But yeah, also as we fight these battles and we might feel quite downhearted maybe, or we're just feeling tired or like giving up, just remembering that actually we've got God in us, we've got this new hunger every morning that we should be praying for, and just every day just taking up our fight and our cross and just fighting alongside.
Very true.
Jesus.
It's a daily thing. We can't just become a Christian, that's it, just roll along for the rest of our lives. It takes effort, it takes work, and that hunger and thirsting for God, it's really vital, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Well, thank you so much, Emily, for bringing us this thought for the day. It's a good one for us to consider as we go about our day. And, we need to make sure we are aware of what's going in and what's coming out of our heart, and also to make sure we take up that armor each and every single day.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much, Emily. Great to hear from you.
Thank you for having me.
Did you know Pure 24/7 Radio has a shop? Well, we do. You can buy merchandise while supporting the work that we do here. Simply head over to www.pure247radio.org/shop. That's www.pure247radio.org/shop.